and welcome to the No Wrong Notes podcast, a show hosted by me, Veronica Kokos, holistic voice teacher and singer just like you. Grab a cup of tea, relax, and sit back as we discuss all things singing technique, mindset tips, and more so you can show up as the most confident and creative singer you can be. Hey everybody! So today's episode is going to be a little bit different. If you're a student of mine, you know that we sometimes do meditations at the beginning of class to kind of set up the mind for the lesson ahead. Sometimes we do meditations where we're manifesting, envisioning our goals coming to life. And sometimes we do gentle body scans where I'll have students close their eyes and get in touch with the body. And in today's podcast, that is what we'll be doing. I'm actually going to be leading you through a meditation on self-compassion. Now, you may be wondering, what does any of this have to do with singing? You know, what does meditation have to do with singing? What does compassion have to do with singing? And I totally understand those concerns. You know, I think that when we think of our typical voice lesson, and when I think of even the voice lessons that I have experienced and that I've had, so much of those lessons can be focused on technique, working on warm-ups and exercises, working on songs, and honestly, that works totally fine. I think that oftentimes when we're teaching voice lessons, when I'm teaching voice lessons, sometimes we have that time constraint. You know, we only have so much time to cover all of the information that we want to cover. But when it comes to singing, obviously we've talked on this podcast that singing is more than just the physical. It is also mental. You know, I've been meditating since, I believe, January of 2020, so 4 years now, which is wild to me. I try to do it every single day, as wild as that sounds. And as much as I'm a person that is certainly not hell-bent on my goals, I'm certainly a believer in flexibility and being gentle and flexible with yourself when it comes to your routines and your schedule. Meditation is a non-negotiable for me when it comes to my daily routine. Obviously, things happen, life happens, and I'm sure I've had a day or two here where I haven't practiced, but I just find that meditating at the start of my day, either through doing a presence kind of exercise or a breathwork exercise, doing those kinds of meditations really helps me set up my mind for success for the rest of the day. I find that when I meditate, I'm a lot less stressed out and less anxious, which translates into more relaxed singing. I find that I'm also more compassionate with myself throughout the day, throughout my singing when I make mistakes. So when it comes to today's episode, doing this meditation on self-compassion, we're going to experiment with this idea of being more mindful of how we talk to ourselves, being more mindful and more compassionate with ourselves. So that way we can not only be kinder to ourselves in real life, but also in our singing. So that way when we're practicing, when we're singing, yes, there is space for us to maybe improve, or there are things that we maybe don't like as much in our singing, but that being secondary to the understanding that we are doing our best at all times, and it is worth being kind and compassionate with ourselves. I think that we can be so critical and we can get stuck in that mindset of oh, I need to do this better, I need to work on this in my singing, and you know, all of that is good and fine. It's good to be aware of the spaces of where we are currently in our singing and the spaces where we want to be. However, that's why I have meditations like this, why I like doing meditations like this that remind me to be kind to myself, even as I am working towards my goals. So this meditation is designed to help bring more compassion to the way that you talk to yourself in and out of your singing. So let us begin. Now, the way that I like to start off each meditation with my students is I like to invite my students and you as the listener to just kind of find a comfortable position. And hopefully you're not driving as you do this, but if you are driving, if you are doing something while you listen to this, I just invite you to bring some awareness into the body. So just taking a few moments to connect with the body, connect with how you're feeling today, noticing how the body feels in this moment. Maybe the body feels energized today, maybe it feels relaxed in this moment. Whatever it is, tuning on in and just becoming aware of how you feel in this moment. And you can even close your eyes if you'd like to go so far as to do that. So let's take a few moments here of silence to just be with ourselves and check in with yourself. And if you find your mind wandering as you do this, that is totally okay. I think that, as we think of meditation, we think that we need to clear our mind. And that is simply not true in my experience. Think of your thoughts when they do come up as kind of passing clouds. Imagining your mind is the sky. And each thought is just a passing cloud, just letting it be there if you find your mind wandering. And if you want to find more focus in these moments as we begin, I invite you to notice your breath. You can even go so far as to say to yourself the word in as you inhale and the word out as you exhale. So breathing in, breathing out, in, out. We'll just take a few moments of silence here to connect with the body, connect with the breath, and just letting whatever thoughts come up, letting them come up and letting them maybe drift away like the clouds in the sky. Now, to bring some compassion into our practice, I would first like to encourage you to bring to mind someone that you love. So really getting clear on what they look like, really imagining their face as if they are right in front of you, painting a clear picture of this person that you love, imagining them standing or sitting in front of you. And when you have that clear picture in your mind of what they look like, I want you to say to them, "May you be well." Saying it to them a few times in your mind, you can say it out loud or say it silently, until it really feels like you're wishing them well. May you be well. May you be well, and really meaning it. Now I want you to say to them, "May you be happy." Then say, "May you be at peace." Noticing as you say these things to them, how it feels to say these things to them, how loving and compassionate it is to say these things to a person that you love. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be at peace. Noticing how much love is in that statement, in those statements. And just pausing and being with the sensations of love and presence and compassion that might be there. Now carrying that same feeling of love and compassion, even if it's the tiniest bit, even if it feels a little crazy to be feeling this way and having these feelings come up, taking those feelings of love and compassion, I want you to say to yourself, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at peace. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be at peace. Feeling how those words resonate with yourself. Is it easy to say these things to yourself? Is it hard to say these things to yourself? There's no right way to feel here. But in beginning to speak to ourselves the same way that we'd speak to someone that we love, we're building trust and love for ourselves that we can then carry into our singing practice and into the rest of our lives. And when we speak to ourselves more with love, we are more likely to catch ourselves when we begin to criticize ourselves in our singing. So I'm just going to let you sit with this for a moment. If you want to return to bringing that picture of someone that you love, bringing that to mind and envisioning that, and just kind of repeating this process of may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at peace. Saying those things to that person and then saying them again to yourself, really practicing, taking that feeling of love that we bring when we say those things to someone else, someone that we love, bringing those feelings to yourself and saying those things to yourself. You can certainly do that again, doing that exercise again. Or if you just kind of want to sit quietly for a few moments, reflecting on how it feels to say these things to yourself, maybe noticing your breath again, you can do that too. I'm just going to give you a few moments of silence to return to the breath, returning to these feelings of compassion. And you can stay in silence for a few moments if you'd like. You can pause this practice and just kind of stick with the breath for a few more moments, kind of staying in this more aware and present state. So you can stay in this space, or if you're ready to kind of wrap up this practice, I invite you to return to the room a little bit. So kind of taking awareness out of the mind and back into the body. Noticing the physical sensations in your body. Noticing the physical sensations in your feet, in your legs, in your hands. Noticing what you are smelling, tasting, sensing, touching. Bringing awareness back into the body. And to close this practice, we're going to take 3 breaths together. Breathing in, breathing out, taking another inhale, and exhale, and breathing in one more time, and letting it go. All right. And so I invite you to come back to this practice as often as you'd like, if it resonated with you. If it didn't resonate with you, if you're like, what the heck is this? What did we just do? I'm not really feeling it. That is okay too. I think the whole purpose of us doing this kind of exercise, of us even talking about these ideas, is really to bring more presence and compassion to our singing practice and really to our lives. Because I think that if the world needs anything in this moment, it's definitely more compassion and more presence. And also, with these kinds of meditations, as I mentioned at the beginning, I do these meditations with my students sometimes at the start of the lesson. However, I also include meditations like these as part of my Curious Singer membership. So even if you're not a student of mine, even if you are, not in private lessons right now, but you're maybe interested in this kind of work, I invite you to go check out the link to my Curious Singer membership, linked below in the description of the episode. And as you're going through the rest of your week this week, I invite you to just notice how you're speaking to yourself in and outside of your singing. So noticing when we're kind of being critical and maybe bringing some more compassion and awareness to that. Until next time, happy singing, y'all.